Hello to all of our attendees. I would like to warmly welcome you to Boston University's Professional Fundraising webinar. We'd like to thank you all for taking the time to spend with us to learn more about our certificate program and take the next step towards your professional advancement. My name is Sarah, and I will be moderating today's session alongside our presenters. We will have a live questions and answer session at the close of the webinar. Please ask questions in the questions box located on the right side of your screen. We will also be sending a link to the recorded version of this webinar in a few days for your reference. During today's presentation, we will cover the following topics: the professional fundraising program as an overview, the curriculum and instructors, registration, and then we will finish up with a live Q&A session. I would now like to introduce John Shaffer, the Program Director of the Professional Fundraising Program. John has been lead instructor at Boston University since 2011 and even completed the program himself in 2007. John is currently a Senior Development Officer at Harvard Business School and is a regular speaker and volunteer at the annual CASE Conference, which is Council for Advancement and Support of Education. John's regular involvement with fundraising in the community makes him an accomplished leader for this program. And John, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction. And let me welcome everyone today and really start by saying a big thank you to all of you. Thank you for your interest in this work. It's important work as we try to match the resources of philanthropists to important causes and organizations that truly will have an impact on solving the world's problems. So this is wonderful work, and I hope if this course helps you in that endeavor, that we can be a part of that journey for you, and that you will help share the word on this if you find it to be beneficial. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to walk through what the course looks like, give you a sense of that, and then I'll be here for questions. So some general how the program is set up. It's a 12-week program, and it has a different module each week. So you're doing a different topic. During that each module, you have a discussion. So you're answering discussions. You're engaging in content. So you're reading your content, you're doing a reflection, so you have time to sort of pause and think about what you're learning and digesting, and then you have an assignment that's sort of based on practice and is developing a new skill within the context of what you've learned that week. It's a pretty robust program. It is, as you can see, part of the CFRE education points, so that's part of what this is mapped to, and we'll get into this a little bit more, but there's a great group of instructors and teaching assistants, and we cover a broad range of backgrounds. So let's go to the next slide. So who is this for? This is for sort of four main groups of people. And I think that it covers a broad range. So there's folks who you'll find who are looking to get into the field, looking to learn about fundraising and figure out ways that they can determine a best path into the profession. There's folks who have maybe had a narrow experience within the field or are building and trying to move up the ladder, who you'll be able to broaden your understanding of what fundraising is. Be able to have potentially more strategic conversations with a broader vocabulary and sort of deeper practice in what we're doing. On the flip side of that, we have managers who sort of have the broader view, and this is really allowing them to go deeper into some areas where they might be managing someone in one department or another. And then finally, a growing trend and group to get involved is volunteers and board members who are looking to, particularly for sort of smaller organizations, bring fundraising knowledge to their fellow board members, committee members, and to the staff. I'll say in the course, we cover large nonprofits, small nonprofits. We have students who are from rural areas, urban areas, domestic, international. The breadth and depth of what Boston University is able to attract really makes for a robust ecosystem of students. And so there's a place in there to find new connections, to build relationships, to network, build community, both with the students and the instructors. Next slide, please. In thinking about where you can go with this degree or the certificate, so for all the reasons we just touched upon, there are different job functions within fundraising that you'll get familiar with, as well as different types of organizations. So higher ed for sure is one, but we also do arts, nonprofits, health services, public, private, many different areas, because it's a field where getting experience and having exposure is important in terms of making the case for a job. And this, we do a lot to expand knowledge. And so if you've come particularly from one area, it might be helpful to learn and understand how to raise money at other organizations. Similarly, if you come from one job function, it might be helpful to learn and expand your understanding of other job functions. Next slide. So now I'm going to walk through, as I mentioned, there's 12 weeks, and each week is a different topic. What I'm going to do on each of these is not new to these, but what I'll mention is sort of the assignment that's paired with them. One of the big opportunities within this course is we have real-world based assignments. By the time that you're done, whether you're basing your assignment on your own organization that you're familiar with, either as a professional or volunteer, or we have simulated organizations you can base them on, you'll end up with a portfolio of work that you can use to help in a job search process, or in making the case for a promotion within an organization, or just in expanding your practical knowledge to be able to put ideas into action. So in sort of, you start with a fundraising overview that really looks big picture at the work that's done in the philanthropy field. And the assignment is around thinking differently about how you might be able to approach philanthropy. So really gets the juices flowing on all the creative ways of approaching really significant philanthropists. We then go into prospect research, where you'll learn about identifying and researching individuals, corporations, and foundations. And with this, you'll actually do your own research profile. So you'll identify an organization or individual, you'll research them, you'll learn the best practices, you'll be understanding resources, both free and paid, that you're able to access, and then put them all together in a sophisticated way to show both the individual's capacity to give and their inclination for support. We'll follow that into annual giving, where this is a very broad topic that will cover a lot in 1 week. But the assignment will look at how you create a leadership giving and leadership annual giving society, which for many organizations is a way to sort of increase giving in a pretty structured format. So that is something that many take and can apply to their own organizations. We'll then build into technology-enabled fundraising, and we'll talk about different tools that are being used, link them across the different topics that you've learned or will learn about, and you'll spend your time on that assignment really trying to focus on how one integrates all these different tools into a fundraising plan. Next slide. From there, we'll go to major gifts, so we'll get sort of more targeted. We'll look at, so you found the prospects, how you begin to build relationship and get them into the circle of your organization, who's the best person to ask, when you do that, what needs to have happened in advance. And for this, you'll actually create your own, you'll develop a prospect cultivation strategy, which will walk through the different steps, and you'll get, on each of these assignments, you get feedback that will help you understand where you might need to refine or continue learning, and where you're sort of hitting on all cylinders. From major gifts, we'll go to plan giving, where there's a lot of technical knowledge that you'll learn about, and then you'll spend your assignment. So these are structured gifts or different ways of giving than outright cash. Your assignment will be around some case studies on when you would use different tools to establish plan gifts. From the individual, we go to foundations and corporations. And in this section, you'll learn about identifying the right fit and how you approach foundations and corporations, which is slightly different than individuals. And you'll get some insights into proposals and follow-up and the way that you cultivate these relationships. And you'll spend your time with the assignment on writing a letter of inquiry, which is often the first step to being able to submit a proposal to an organization. From there, we'll go to capital campaigns. As many of you probably have experienced, organizations are often going into capital campaigns as an opportunity to refine their message of support and sort of set specific goals based on needs, expanding needs for an organization at any given time. In that section, you'll be asked to, in the context of a capital campaign, prioritize different ongoing elements of the development shop. Next slide. From there, we'll talk about some of the pieces of the shop that are less visible. So off the front line, there's many parts of the organization: gift processing, events, communications, office management, that are critical to a successful fundraising shop. This is an area where I often find people getting interested in getting into the field or new to the field might find something that they had not even thought would be a profession and are able to pursue that. Or at least think about it as an opportunity to pursue to get into fundraising. In this area, we'll also work on special events, which many of you are probably involved in, and how to put special events together that are most effective and efficient, and how you make the case for them within an organization. From there, we'll go on to volunteer leadership, critical to any organization's success, whether you're large or small. Some in the room, in the class, will be volunteers. Many of you I know, so bring sort of specific learnings from each other into this module. And then you'll spend your time on this assignment putting together a recruitment letter for a key lead volunteer, which people have enjoyed doing. And then you'll go to management and accountability, where we're talking about how one manages the fundraising shop, as some folks are looking to move up within their organization or take skills and move into fundraising at this management level. We'll spend the time in that assignment looking at your first 6 months at a new organization, how you approach that both in terms of your getting to know your team and getting to know the organization. And then we'll wrap up with a fundraising summary where we'll go over some of the lessons learned, but we'll also take some time to look forward for each of you. And you'll spend time in this module thinking about next steps and how you will take what you've learned and put it into practice, either at the organization you're in or at a future organization. Next slide. So through these modules, you'll be led by instructors who have a depth of experience in many different parts of fundraising, but also each has an expertise as well. The instructors are in the platform engaging with students on a very regular basis. They're close to practice. They're sort of understanding across the fundraising field, and they love their work. So they're very engaged in building community within the class, and as much as you get out of each other, you'll get out of the instructors as well. You're also joined by some 3 TAs who add their own experience and their own ability to connect and build as well. I think at this point we'll turn it over to Carrie to talk about some of the course logistics.
Thank you very much, John. So the most important thing I like all students to know about the course is that it's asynchronous. There's no set time of day or day of week in which we require students to log on to do their work. As you saw from the previous slide, it is an instructor-led course. So you do have real people teaching and weekly assignments. In order to be successful in the program, one should dedicate approximately 7 to 10 hours a week to the course. I believe John mentioned this, but there are approximately 4 to 6 optional live sessions. It's ideal if you can attend the live sessions. However, due to scheduling, you might not be able to attend all of them. So we do record those and then embed them into your course so that you can access them at a later point in time. If you have any questions at all, you are able to communicate with the faculty via our message board or an internal messenger system. And last but not least, many inquire about our platform, and BU delivers this course on Blackboard, which I think some people have already taken some online courses with. Next slide. We offer the Professional Fundraising program 3 times every year. We offer it every January, every May, and every September. The next session is right around the corner. It starts this coming January 22nd. The enrollment deadline is roughly about a month away. It's on December the 21st. Tuition for the program is $2,495. And we try to provide as much information, including the dates and program information on our website, which is listed right there. There are a couple different options that students have when enrolling in the program. Students can choose to pay in full or take advantage of our monthly payment plans. The monthly payment plans will be offered right on the website. If you have any questions, by all means, just give us a call. I'll provide that information momentarily. There is the opportunity on the website for a third party, whether that's a family member or your employer or anyone to pay for the course for you. So you do have the option to list the payer as well as the student as 2 different people. The course is approved for a Sallie Mae Smart Loan. What that is a government loan that you would apply for, and then upon receiving approval, you will contact us, and that would be your form of payment. We do have additional information on the website, instructions of how to do and apply for a Sallie Mae loan. And last, but certainly not least, the program is approved by the VA for the GI Bill, as well as for my CAA, which is for military spouses. It's my career advancement account. Next slide, please. There are a couple of different saving opportunities for students. If you are a member of the AFP, there is a 10% discount. We've listed the code, the member code right here that you would use in the shopping cart, and that would save you 10%, which is approximately $250. There is also a 10% discount if you have either been employed by or participated in any of the following groups: the Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, Teach for America, and City Year. And we again have listed the promotional code. It is both in this presentation as well as on the website. Next slide, please. If you have any questions, we are more than happy to help you. You can call any of us here on the Enrollment Advisor team. You can reach us via email at bostonuniversity@mindmax.net. You can give us a call at 617-502-8822. Or you can peruse the website, and we do offer live chat. So we try to offer a variety of different ways that you can reach out to us. But the main thing is we'd be happy to help you.
Thank you so much, Carrie, and thank you, John. So at this time, we will now enter into our questions and answers session. I have a few questions that have come in here for our hosts today. So as just a reminder, please type your questions in the questions box on your control panel, and we'll get started. John, the first question is for you regarding the how many students are enrolled per session?
Typically we have about 50 students and we break you up into groups. So you'll get to know all 50 and you'll get to know your section pretty well.
Great, thank you, John.
Let me also take this as an opportunity to say, that we also have a robust sort of LinkedIn group for alumni of the certificate program. So the sort of ongoing network effect, you can continue to build those relationships across the sessions that we do in any given year or over the years.
Great, thank you, John. Next, what are we graded on in this course?
So you are graded on a combination of an assignment. So each week you receive a grade based on your assignment, your reflection, and your your discussion participation. So those are the three key elements of grading.
Thank you. And as a follow-up question to that, what is the grading scale? Is it pass, fail, or a letter grade?
Letter grades.
All right, thank you. The next question is, what is the work dynamic like in this online platform, and how well do we get to know our peers and build relationships with fellow classmates?
Can you repeat the first part of the question?
Sure, it's what is the work dynamic like with this online platform?
Okay.
So it's a two-part question.
Yeah. The work dynamic, as mentioned, it's an asynchronous course, so it's at your own pace, but it's gated. So you sort of do the work of each week within that week, but you can do it at any hour of the day or any time of the week with a few critical dates each week. The dynamic with your classmates is actually people get to know each other pretty well. Connections are made from the outset when people make introductions, both in the work that they're doing, the things they volunteer and care about, and their sort of personal lives. And many have gotten in touch both online, sort of building over the 12 weeks, and then offline as schedules and locations allow. This is one of the more exciting parts of the course that I'm always happily surprised by.
Great, thank you. And can you please provide an accurate breakdown of the weekly time commitment required to successfully complete this course for someone who works full-time?
Sure. So I think, the time commitment, as mentioned earlier, is about 7 to 10 hours to be successful. Majority of the folks who are doing it in addition to full-time work. And so if you think of that as sort of an hour a day, that's one way to look at it. You don't necessarily have to break that up over each day. You can sort of go on, all the content is available. So typically the flow is that someone will read and work to understand the written content, and then they'll launch into the participation in the discussion forums, which people will check back in on throughout the week as their classmates are making comments and they want to add to that. And then by Friday night, a short reflection is due. That's really asking you to think a little bit about what you're learning and provide some sort of thought and opinion. And then on Monday, so the module opens on Tuesday, on the following Monday, the assignment is due. And that's sort of all submitted through Blackboard. You can do work early if you know you're going to have a busy end of the week. And so there's flexibility in that piece of it.
Great, thank you, John. Carrie, the next question is for you. When do you anticipate offering a summer or fall program?
Thank you. The summer program will be offered in May 2019 and the fall program in September 2019. Before this month is over, the summer dates will be up on our website, and we will open enrollment for the summer session. Many students who would be choosing to enroll now for the summer will be looking for a longer payment plan, which is available.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Their next question is, do you have a career office or person that assists with employment leads? And John, I'll pass that to you, please.
We do not have a specific career office available in conjunction with this program, but our instructors and fellow classmates can be great ways through this network to build leads and have conversations.
All right, thank you. And a second part of that question is, what is the percentage of graduates who transition into a fundraising position after taking this course? And John, I'll pass that to you.
Sure. Sorry, was that to me or to Carrie?
Oh, to you, yes, thank you.
So we do not have specific numbers on that, but I would say anecdotally there are plenty of conversations coming out of each session on folks who are on their path to getting a job in the industry, and this is one tool, along often with volunteering at organizations and having a clear story around transferable skills that will help get someone taken seriously as a candidate for fundraising jobs.
Great, thank you. The next question is for you as well. What is the success rate of this course, and what percentage, to the best of your knowledge, of course, of people who start the program make it all the way through?
Yeah, so I would say the vast majority make it through. Occasionally there'll be life circumstances that will come up, and we're always happy to work with students to figure out the best approach to be successful when those come up. In terms of how people do, so the vast majority earn their certificate. This is, if you're participating, if you're reading the content, and if you're doing your assignments, you should be able to do that. And that's sort of our goal, is to have the students be both educated and successful.
All right, thank you. John, and the next question is for you. This person is saying they presume that the course covers all the various types of giving mechanisms, for example, charitable, remainder trusts, donor-advised funds, etc., and the ramifications of the recent tax code changes, at least at a high level. Is this correct?
Yes, and there's one of the week I'm playing giving will go deep into the different vehicles, but it will also come up in other modules as well.
Great, thank you. Do you have international participants at every session, and how do their profiles differ from U.S. participants? And to John, please.
We do. So each session we do have a handful of international participants from different countries, and their profile tends to be slightly more towards service-oriented nonprofits, and probably a little bit more towards government-esque type organizations, but find they get a lot out of the course. And while some of the mechanics of giving may be slightly different, and the culture is different for sure, the principles of how you approach fundraising seem to translate pretty well. We also will work closely with those students, at least at the outset, to make sure that they can understand how some of this stuff translates or does not.
Thank you, John. And Carrie, the next question is for you. Can you please explain how payment plans work?
Sure. For anyone who is currently looking to enroll in the upcoming January session, we do offer a split payment plan where students would pay half the tuition in November and the second half in December before the course starts in January. For those students who enroll in in December for the January session, it is payment in full. And for those students who are looking for a longer payment plan, the longest payment plan we offer is a 6-month payment plan. And that would be for students who enroll this November for the upcoming May, the summer session for next year. If you have any questions about the payment plans, please feel free to give us a call. We'd be happy to go over them with you over the telephone, and know that you can choose a payment plan right on the website in the shopping cart.
Thank you, Carrie. And John, this one is for you. It's a follow-up question from one that we had previously answered. It says, when mentioning the grading system, it was not decided if the weekly assignments are graded on or not. Will
Sure.
those be
Yeah. The weekly assignments are graded. You also receive a participation grade, and your reflection is basically pass-fail. So those three elements are, you're given points on a weighted basis to come up with your grade for each week.
Okay, thank you. And a question here for you, John. It sounds like we can select a specific group to target our classwork towards, correct? So ideally, as we finish, we will now have a workable plan to take to our intended group. Is that correct? I don't know if you need me to repeat that. I'm sorry.
Nope, that makes total sense. Yeah, so
Okay.
if you take one organization that you're familiar with or working for and apply each of the assignments to that organization, you will end up with not completely comprehensive, but a pretty good set of activities to propose to that organization to be more effective in their fundraising.
Great, thank you. And this person says they might have joined late, so this might have been discussed. But John, can you please recap who the ideal candidate for this program may be? So those new to fundraising, 3 to 5 years experience, or more like a 10-year experience?
So it's actually sort of 4 different profiles. So new to fundraising, looking to get into the industry, currently in fundraising and either looking to move up and expand the knowledge base because maybe you've had a narrow experience thus far, or in a management role where you're now managing a bunch of different parts of the operation and getting to know what they do would be helpful. And then the last one is sort of volunteers or board members with nonprofit organizations that are looking to help bring best practices to their fellow committee members, board members, and to the organization that they care about.
Great answer. Thank you, John. And for you, will I be able to sit for the CFRE exam once I complete this course?
So along with the education, there's also a professional component. So you need to have hours of professional fundraising, and then you can sit for the course. And the CFRE website has details on exactly what the content is, but it maps, this course was developed to map to that.
Okay, and do you know the average pass rate for those who go on to take the CFRE exam?
That's not something we've tracked over time.
Okay, thank you. And so this question is a follow-up based on the most previous answer we had given. Will the groups be divided by your experience or just a random selection?
They're randomly selected.
All right, thank you. All right, if anyone has any additional questions, please feel free to type in at this time. We'll, of course, wait to see if we get any additionals. John, I have a question for you here. What advice do you have for folks that are new to the field of development that are looking to maybe kickstart their career? It's just maybe a high level.
Yeah, so right off the bat, find an organization that you can volunteer with and help them in doing some soliciting of peers or others to support the organization. It both shows a commitment to the field and answers a common question if you're looking to get into the front line, although there's other parts of the fundraising field for sure, of your comfort level in asking people for financial resources.
Great, thank you so much. And it doesn't look like we have any additional questions coming in at this time. So I think with that, we will wrap up our webinar for today. Thank you all for joining us and giving us your insightful questions about our professional fundraising program. And thank you, John, for the overview and Carrie. Again, just as a reminder for those who might have missed if they've joined late, a recorded version of this webinar will be sent within a few days for you to reference. So please look out for that in your inbox. And again, thank you all and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.